dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the...
Do we participate in a politics of cynicism, or do we participate in a politics of hope?
You can't be a world changer without being a changed man. Only changed people can change their world.
It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does.
Good morning. Welcome to another exciting package of the Leadership Breakfast, a show that brings you the likes of people who have been successful in their fields and want to share those experiences with young people. And today with me, I have a distinguished young person as well, who has been a successful business person, and of course is aspiring to also be in the governance leadership space, Mr. Dapo. Adesina, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, now quite a number of issues. I read your profile, quite intimidating. You're into solutions that have to do with construction and all of that. But most importantly, for you, for someone who at a very young age has been successful in business and now going into the governance space, what are some of the things that you'd like to share with young people in advising them to, not just be part of the process, or things that they can do to be part of the process?
I won't say I'm successful, but I'm striving to be successful. But one thing I've learned in life is that you need to be focused. Focus on what you want. Focus on what you want to do. You must have a clear vision on how you want to attain it. It may take years, but you just must have that clear vision on what you really want to do. You have to carve a niche for yourself. And I want to employ young people. I'm young too myself.
Yeah.
That the society is very trying to toxic. And what I mean by that, there's so much going around. But in spite of that, you should still be focused, have a vision. It might take years for you to accomplish. Continue to dream, continue to have passion for what you really want to do, and you see it come to pass. So that success is just not all about staying focused and keep on trying. Even if you fail, just keep on trying, keep on trying. I've come a long way, I have come a long way, and I still have dreams. I still have things I want to do, like aspiring for House of Reps. So I won't count myself that successful, but I just give thanks to Almighty God for what He has done in my life.
Now, young people across the country look up to people like you and say, "Oh, okay. So, you've come quite a long way, like you said. What are some of those things that helped you, arrive here so far? That you want to share with young people in terms of,
one of the things I want to share is that good education, which is the foundation.
Right.
Okay. Good education, which is the foundation. Coupled with that is exposure. What has helped me is my exposure. I've lived in America, I've lived in Nigeria. So I understand how both countries work. Another thing is that you need to get involved. You need to get involved. When I say get involved, you have to be part of either the political arena or the business. You need to know what's going on. Not just, there's so many young people don't read papers. They don't read papers, they don't know what's going on. I remember during the consequent elections both in the United States and in Nigeria, dating back to 1999, 2003, I read papers. There was this website I go to, if I want to read Nigerian news, maybe like about 11 p.m. my time, which is 8 a.m. I go to Nigerian news and I read the papers early in the morning, which is people have not been woken up. I read what's going on and I chew on it. The same way as I was involved in Nigeria, what's going on, it's the same way I was involved in America, what's going on politically. And I gained interest. I don't want to go outside and people ask me ask me what's going on, I don't know. I want to know what's going on. I want to be the person that is giving that information. So for you need to seek for knowledge. And the only way you can seek for knowledge is by reading. Reading. Another thing I want to tell Nigerian youth is that read books. Reading books can teach you a lot of things, because it's one thing to go to school, it's one thing to go to university, it's one thing to teach yourself certain things, So reading books is very, very helpful. You can gain so much knowledge from reading books, And another thing is networking. When I say networking with people who are better than you, older than you, that can add value to you. Not networking with local champions, but networking with people that they have achieved. And that's what I do. Even to today, most of my friends are older than me.
Wow.
Most of my close friends are older than me.
Yes.
And I learn from them. Sometimes I ask questions, sometimes they may be stupid questions, but I'm garnering knowledge on how to do things. So that has been one of my secrets. I move with people older than me, so that I can get wise, so that you think like them. But if you move with people who are either you're better or than, you'll just be a local champion. So that helps you to mature and grow up fast. Like, for example, I have a friend of my dad who relates with me like we're friends. Wow. Sometimes I get caught up in the fact that I think we're mates, but I still have to adjust myself. So the way we relate is like we relate as friends, So that's what has helped me, network with people, be in the midst of people who are better than me, be in the midst of business entrepreneurs and all that. So that's really helped me. So that's why I am what I am today.
All right, now you're quite popular among young people, especially in your constituency where you want to run. What are some of the things that you've done with and for young people in your area as regards, exposing them, empowering them, young people, young women in the area? What are some of these things that you? Because I know you've done quite a lot of stuff around that area.
I don't know where you got my profile from, but when you say I'm popular among young people, the thing is, I always try to be myself, and I try to be true to myself. One thing I always have passion for young people who know what they're doing. Be it a lady, be it a guy. So when I see talent like that, I embrace it and I encourage them. I like seeing a young man who, even if it is tailoring, if it is a lady who is baking, or if it's a guy who is doing graphic arts, I fall in love with them. Because it's not easy to be focused, it's not easy in the country we are today to be a master of one trade. So when I come across people like that, I just fall in love with them and I try to encourage them. Because I'm a young person. Now, going back to my constituency, I have a foundation, because I do a foundation, and that foundation is to cater for widows, young children, and privileged youths.
Okay.
So, when I started my political history, I looked at my environment, and I don't have a problem making friends, even with people who are younger than me, talk less of people who are older than me. And I just try to talk to people and I try to encourage them, because some people, young people need encouragement these days, and that's why so many people look at me as a leader. Leadership is attained, it's not a right. You must be a good follower before you become a leader, and leader is inbuilt. So I just try to be myself, but I try to provide opportunities for people. It's the best of my knowledge, and that is just me. I try to give people any opportunity to have. I try to give it to people, and that's why people just fall in love with me. Sometimes I can't explain it, but I just try to be nice to people, and that's what life is all about. Being nice to people, because you never know. The table can turn, so I don't look down on anybody. I don't look down on anybody. I have compassion for people. I try to help people. I try to encourage people. But in the midst of this, you still have people who are deceitful. You still have people who will not acknowledge that fact. But it doesn't really matter. You know, just being yourself, you know, being nice, encouraging people, being people's friend. There's no harm in that.
Now, talking about politics, you come from Osun State. You're aspiring to go to the House of Representatives to represent your people. What are some of the things that you've identified in your immediate constituency, and perhaps even Nigeria at large, because it's the Federal House of Representatives? You're really representative of the Nigerian people as well. What are some of the things that you've identified and you feel you want to intervene in, you want to help solve these problems?
You see, one of my motto for when I first ran in 2018 was on LED, leadership, empowerment, and development. Leadership, when you're a leader, when you have leadership in your hand, it gives you the power to earn, gives you the opportunity to empower. When you empower people, that's how development comes. When I look at the federal constituency, it's not well developed. To me, it's like the dividends of democracy are not really delivered to the people. And now, when we say, what are these dividends of democracy? It's just the people's rights and entitlement. And when I look at it, they're not represented the way they should be represented. So, if we look at my constituency, look at Boluwadro, for example, now, you know, there's no development. Even in that, which is the headquarters of the federal constituency, there's no development. The roads are bad, the schools are bad, and we have a representative representing us. You see, there are two reasons why I went into politics. One, to defend and continue the legacy of my dad. Okay. Two, to give the people of my federal constituency an opportunity to enjoy government, you know. And these things, the things that the people are looking for, based on my interaction, I just little opportunities. Basic healthcare, social amenities, light, infrastructure, just the basic things which is within the power of any representative. You know, and this is what, you know, lured me into running for the House of Representatives. You know, just giving these people the basic things that they need, creating opportunities for their children. That's all. It's as simple as that.
You know, you talked about leadership, empowerment, development. Yeah. Let's take that one by one. What's leadership to you? What does leadership mean to you?
See, leadership is when people look up to you. You know, leadership is inbuilt. It's not something you buy. It's something that is earned over a while. You don't just wake up one day and people just call you my leader, my leader. No. It evolves. It starts from somewhere and it goes somewhere. So you just can't wake up one day and say I'm your leader. No, you can't. You don't force yourself on people. People we must tell you that you are our leader. We want you. That's how my definition of leadership is. Leadership is about character. Right. You can't be a good leader without having good character. You know, leadership is about compassion. You need to have compassion on your followers. You need to feel their pains. You need to bring yourself to their level. You need to be able to understand them. That's what leadership is all about. It's inbuilt. You know, like Yoruba would say, a B. Right. You know, but some people don't really understand what leadership is all about. You know, you don't make yourself. It's people who make you. People see you. People look up to you as a leader. So that's my own definition of leadership.
Empowerment. Yes, besides your foundation, that already does a lot of work. What are the other empowerment focuses that you have? If you are, by the grace of God, given the privilege to go to the House of Representatives.
You know, there's so many things one can do for the federal constituency. I'm not a House of Representatives, but I pay jam for it. As I have provided so much scholarship to people. I've gone to there's a place in Mina, the leprosy home in Mina. I empower them. I give them money to do business. At the time, I give them 100,000 just to do business. I didn't have to go back because I want to multiply that money. That's empowerment. Giving people an opportunity where people feel there's no hope. Giving them hope. They say, okay, I want you to do what do you desire to do? And they say, okay, I need this amount of money. Give them that money and see if they can turn it around. That is all about empowerment. So these are things that the House of Representatives can do to its community. You know?
Now the last one, development. So what would you term development? What would you want to see in your House of Representatives after 4 years? If you get into the salary in 2023, for example, what would you want your constituency to be like after 4 years?
Main focus is Osho State lacks behind in education. Okay. One of my main focus is going to be education. You know, because these young people are the leaders of tomorrow. Right. They need to get the basics. Some of them, if you go to the schools, there are no tables, there are no chairs. You know, so how can they be encouraged? Some of them don't go to school. You know, there was a time this is just a true life story. I went to my house in Ibadan, and I saw these young guys loitering around. Okay, and I think they were looking for work to do. So I told them, why were they not in school? You know, and they told me they couldn't pay their school fees or whatever. And how much is the school fees, or how much did they have to pay? 500 naira.
Wow.
It was like paying
500 naira.
500, about 3 or 4 of them. You know, so what did I do? I said, okay, I'll give you your money and I'll times it times I think 500. But I want you to do this simple. Let's give them some little work to do in the compound, and they can be coming back and be doing it. You know, so that is empowerment. Young people, these are people maybe in primary school, you know, couldn't go back to school because of 500 naira. What is 500 naira? Or 4 of them. You know? So I tried to, I even give them new notes. You know, so they can fit. So I was looking at the way they were looking at the new notes and the way what the comments they were making. You know, but what I wanted to do is not to entice them, but I wanted them to say, you know what, I don't want you people out, but I'll give you work to do so they can earn that money and I multiply it for them. That was just my basic thing, you know. So because I found that, okay, if I didn't do that, they would just think the money is easy. So I made them work a little bit for the money and I multiplied it for them. And I told them going forward, I don't want to see them rushing around. These are the things that people can do. Because when you go to the village and live among them, you see that people are suffering. You know, and it's not that the constituents want you to give them 1 million. It's just that little thing, that opportunity, the healthcare, education, infrastructure, and all that. That's all they need. You know, just to enjoy life to the barest minimum. Because if they're in a remote setting in rural areas, they don't want to live a city life, but at least they want to have access to social amenities, good water, good roads. You know, most of them are farmers. They want to go to the farm. That's what they're asking for. You know, but it's funny enough that some politicians deny them of these things when they have these things in abundance. You know, so that's just empowerment. Just give people the opportunity to be empowered, give them opportunity to earn what they desire. You know?
Okay, as we begin to round up now, you talked about 2 things that got my attention. You said, first of all, young people should get involved. You come from a society, you've lived rather in a society where young people are so involved in the political system. That's in the United States. What are the lessons that we can learn from young people in those societies? Because you look at campaigns there, you see young people, part of even presidential campaigns, not just local campaigns. What are some of the things that young people can learn from those clubs and say, okay, these are the ways that we too can be part of this process, that we can get involved?
See, the young generation today, the thing that pained me was that it was in 2008, I remember very well, when Obama was elected. Yeah, I was part of that movement. And it was the young people that determined that they want to come as president. So what am I saying? The youths of today can change any government. Okay? It's just unfortunate how the NSAS have ended up. But the youth should form a movement that can bring down any government, they can change any government. Just like going back to university days, when students go around. Worst case they close. When students say they don't want a vice chancellor, the vice chancellor has to go.
Yeah.
You know. So the same way, if the youth today, instead of wasting time on social media, this and that, come together, get involved in government. When I say get involved in government, be politically aware. Have the mindset that, okay, we don't want this government anymore. We don't want this. You know, change the narrative. Young people must get involved in politics. To get involved in politics does not mean you must be a politician. You know, but just being aware of the political space, being aware who's coming out, being aware what is his credentials. Is this somebody that can change? You know, so like I said, you know, that is how I started getting involved in politics. You know, I've had an eye for politics when I was in university. I contested for director of institutions, I lost. You know, later on, I just picked that interest because I was interested in my society. I wanted to know what's going on. You know, and that's what politics is all about. We need to be aware of what's going on. So I remember in the United States, 2008, young people were the one who brought Obama to government because they wanted a change. The same way here, instead of young people spending time watching people, it's the same way young people took and said, you know what, we want a change. You know, and demand for that change. Not aggressively, peacefully, networking, forming support groups all over the country, you know, picking one or two presidential aspirants, you know, discussing with him or something like that, you know. So that's where we can change the narrative, you know, but we can't just sit and look and say, okay, what will be will be. You know, we have to be involved in the process. We have to be involved in the electorate. We have to be involved in the decisions of this country. And that was why I entered politics, because I don't want to be blaming somebody. I want to be there. I want to be among people making decisions. That means sitting in my office or sitting in my living room and blaming one leader. You need to be involved. You know, be part of the process. Contribute to the process. You know, so that's one of the reasons why I want to admonish you to get involved. Have an awareness. You know what's going on politically, internationally, locally. You need to know what's going on, and not just taking selfies and being on Instagram and all that. No, there's time for that.
There's no polling unit on Twitter.
You know, there's no polling unit. Exactly, there's no polling unit on Twitter. You know, so we need to get involved. You know, so that's my admonition for young people. We need to get involved. We need to know what's going on. We need to be part of the process. We need to demand change. You know, not just on the internet, but involved. You know.
Well, before I let you go, you saw what happened in Anambra State.
Yeah.
What's your take on the new innovations that INEC is bringing? Because you're going to be part of that process very soon. 2023 is around the corner. What's your opinion about this new innovation that INEC has?
You know, to welcome development.
Okay.
You know, and I see that with the first election in Anambra, it looks as if the people are beginning to wake up from the slumber. You know, and it's not about party now, but it's about personality. The same thing is going to happen in Ekiti, and the same thing will happen in Osho. You know, so it's not about whether the popularity of the party or ruling party. It's going to come to a time that it's about the personality of the candidate, and that until when we get to that stage where we don't look at the party, but we look at the personality of the candidate, then Nigeria will be a better place.
Honorable Dapo, well, I hope to call you honorable very soon when you get into the House of Representatives, and wish you all the best with that. Mr. Dapo, Ademola Adesina is a successful businessman going into politics. As I said, a young person like us as well. So the space is open. You've heard it all. Get involved. There's no pulling on social media. It all happens on the field. Thank you for joining us for this package of the Leadership Breakfast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you again.
Right, we'll see you. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Have a good day.
I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the...
Do we participate in a politics of cynicism, or do we participate in a politics of hope?
You can't be a world changer without being a changed man. Only changed people can change their world.
It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does.